Are you ready?
Combate Global.
Oh, what a punch. What an incredible fight. Can you believe what you just saw? We have a champion.
Parting after St. Patrick's Day, but we're all recovered here and the fights are ready to go. You see the skyline of Miami, Florida. They are partying in the streets, they are partying on the beach, and we are partying here at Univision Studios, ready to kick it off with a fighter who calls himself the Nightmare. Can Michael Reyes somehow wake up from that bad dream
La
tonight?
pesadilla. And I wanted to point something out. You mentioned about St. Patrick's Day. Did you notice the band, the guitar, the drums are green? I think this continue on with the St. Patrick's party, man.
We started off, Enrique Pacheco calls himself the Nightmare, taking on Michael Reyes. This showdown going down in the 125-pound division. Omar Amador, take it away for us.
Entrando a la jaula, Enrique Pacheco.
There is Enrique Pacheco, 6-1 as a professional out of Santiago, Chile. We've seen a lot of Chilean fighters. And one thing you talk about, good training, competition not necessarily there until they start traveling, fair or not?
Yes, and we've seen many of these fighters that have come here to the States. Ignacio Bahamondes from Chile, who's made a name for himself. I got a chance to train with him. And now this man right here, La Pesadilla, the Nightmare Pacheco, has been training at the Goat Shed Academy to up his fighting skill. He's coming off a defeat. Ironically, he got a victory over this man. He fought him twice, won, lost one, so he's 1-1 against the same guy. That happened back in 2020 and then 2021. So it's been some time since he's seen some competition, which is a great opportunity for him to fix those holes, work on some of the things that he needed to do, and now he's getting that big shot.
And you know how good the Goat Shed is? Ask them, they'll tell you. Omar, let's find out about his opponent.
Y ahora su oponente, Michael Reyes.
And here's his opponent, Michael Reyes, out of Oxnard, California. For those who don't know, that's just north of LA, right? Anyway, very decorated amateur. The Camo Association in LA, in Southern California, all throughout California. Great amateur system. He was a champion there before making his pro debut.
And that just goes to show you that he's a champion among those elite fighters in the amateur level. Now moving on up to the pros. But one thing about Mikey Malicious Reyes is he is an artist. In fact, he even said that the jaula, the canvas, that's where he paints, and that's what he likes to do. But one thing that you'll notice is the way his consistency. He'll get 3 victories, he'll go for a lot. He'll get 2 wins, he'll go for a lot. What Mikey Malicious are we gonna get tonight? Is it gonna be that power, hungry, vicious, fast, knockout power, sufficient type of a Reyes, or are we gonna get a different type of fighter where he slows the pace? We're about to find out, Jimmie.
Here are the numbers head to head. No real difference in the age. A slight reach advantage for Reyes, but how will he use it? That is the important thing here. They weighed in almost exactly the same. The tail is not in the numbers. Let's go to Omar Amador to get us started.
Ya estamos listos, damas y caballeros, para este combate pautado a 3 asaltos de 5 minutos en la división peso mosca. We are ready for this bout, set to 3 rounds of 5 minutes in the flyweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Vicente Rodríguez, Eliseo Rodríguez, Lázaro James. Y ahora sí, damas y caballeros, el momento ha llegado para un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, introducing the blue corner. Entra con un récord de 6 victorias, 1 derrota. He steps into la jaula with a record of 6 victories and 1 defeat. Vistiendo azul, registró un peso oficial de 126.5 libras. He registered an official weight of 126.5 pounds. De Santiago de Chile, Enrique, la pesadilla, Pacheco. Y su oponente en la esquina roja, his opponent in the red corner. Sube a la jaula con récord de 8 victorias, 5 derrotas. He stepped into the cage with a record of 8 victories, 5 defeats. Vistiendo rojo. Registró un peso oficial de 126 libras. He registered an official weight of 126 pounds. De Oxnard, California, representando a México también, Malicious Michael Reyes. El referee para este combate de Panamá, Marcos Pérez.
Come on here. Stop. Okay. Ya saben la regla. Quiero una pelea limpia. Okay. Siga mi comando. Toque en guante. Sus esquinas.
Flyweights always bring the action. 125 pounds is no exception tonight. Enrique Pacheco in the blue, Michael Reyes in the red. And we are underway, round number 1.
Will it be a nightmare for the Malicious One? We're about to find out. I'm surprised that Pacheco started this fight with trying to go for the takedown with the single leg, but Malicious, he's very well versed when it comes to the takedown defense.
Now using the fence to try and keep his balance, but right now, here's Pacheco putting the pressure on out of Santiago, Chile.
Trying to wrestle him down, but Mike, a good way of positioning those hips.
Going over the top for the guillotine, arm in, but so far no commitment with the hips.
Kind of trying to trip him there. Now the judo, the chop attempt from La Pesadilla, the Nightmare.
Michael Reyes, body lock of his own, takedown with the outside trip.
I was having a conversation with Reyes, and he told me, look, I've learned my lesson. I don't want to go the distance anymore. He got the memo. If I can finish it, I'm going to finish it. I'm not leaving it to 3 men or women. I'm stopping them. I'm finishing the fight.
The frustration of that when you talk to veteran fighters, right? I work with Angela Hill. She's had a lot of decisions go the wrong way. It is incredibly frustrating. Another takedown from Reyes. You know, to go through that experience, it changes you as a fighter. Looking for the armbar.
He's searching for that, but Reyes, this is where that experience comes in. Can he escape this? Surely does.
Good job getting that elbow out just enough, but an active guard from the Nightmare off his back. Enrique Pacheco not laying there. He's actively attacking, going after the arm again.
I'm really impressed by Pacheco, though, using that jiu-jitsu. You would think because he's had that striking for the most part in his fights.
Inverted triangle.
Oh, and that's rare to come, Jimmie.
Yeah, it's a hard one to finish. There's a reason for that.
Reminds me of Imada and Masvidal.
There are a million of them out there. But it's a hard one to secure and finish.
Pacheco wanted to up his game. Been training here in South Florida.
Reyes once again back to that guillotine position and not committing to it, but it makes Pacheco honest. He can't just drive through and leave his neck behind, so it can be a good takedown defense under certain circumstances. Thought we were going to see a little space, but...
Yeah, really impressed though, Pacheco, though. Again, he's very confident with his striking, but he's rolling the dice on the jiu-jitsu on the ground game, and he's not afraid to do it against Reyes.
Reyes loading the left hand, landing a good one.
And one thing you'll notice about Reyes is he'll pick up the pace as you go into the latter part of the fight. He'll start sometimes a little slow, but he just pick it up.
Right now, Reyes doing very well in round number 1. Hammer fist, jackhammers coming down on the face of the Nightmare.
And Reyes not giving up, trying to keep Pacheco straight down, not letting go. Perhaps another slam, good way of positioning his leg for...
Right now, Pacheco thinking guillotine in close guard.
Can't see it from this position,
tight.
Jimmie. Wow, what an upset this would be, Jimmie.
Everything going the way of Reyes, but one mistake.
I see it pretty tight there, Jimmie, from what I saw in that angle.
Will we see the tap? But no, Reyes so far hanging on.
Will he hold that grip? And it seems like it's coming out. Loosening up. There it is. Good way.
The problem with that, if you're Pacheco, is it burns out the arms and shoulders so badly going for a guillotine that you then don't get. Right now, Reyes doing the right thing, turning the pressure up.
Reyes flipping the story here to his way, landing the shots.
Good job going after the ribs, trying to neutralize that active guard of Enrique Pacheco.
But he needs to be careful once again. Now searching for a triangle.
It is locked.
He's not giving up. Really impressive stuff from La Pesadilla.
Angling the correct way, putting a ton of pressure on Michael Reyes.
Jimmie, he has that pretty locked in. And
going to the armbar.
There, Jimmie.
Trying to roll out. Going to the armbar. It is straight.
Right into it. This is when that experience comes in from Reyes.
Great job from Reyes, able to gut out. Able to walk the correct way and fight out of it. But I'm telling you, his arm has got to be hurting at this point.
Triangle armbar and he escaped both. But I'm telling you, very impressed from Pacheco.
A very active guard from Pacheco. Now we'll see what he can do on top. It's been Reyes' round up until the end.
He's trying to get that mount, Jimmie, as he tried to push that right leg down. But Reyes keeping it up, prohibiting from moving any forward from where he is. But look at hanging those elbows there.
10 seconds left to go in round number 1. And Pacheco looking to make up ground in this round and this fight, finishing strong. And Pacheco, he is understandably tired. It might be about who recovers. I mean, both fighters had their moments. I would say Reyes controlled more of round number 1, but was in more trouble at the same time.
He got himself in positions where he nearly got submitted, but was able to transition, and it comes down to that experience. All those fights that he's had compared to Pacheco.
We'll see who has the gas for round number 2.
Respira more, Mike. Slow him down a little bit more. He's slowing down. He's taking deep breaths. Let's go, Mike. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Round 2. Come on. Round 2.
And we are in round number 2. Enrique. La Pesadilla Pacheco versus Michael Malicious Reyes. Action-packed round number 1. Not an easy round to score. Now remember, we have open scoring here at Combate Global, so we will know the score shortly. The Reyes having some success with the left hand, but getting in trouble on the ground despite the better wrestling. Is that a good description of round number 1?
He needs to keep it on his feet. That's what's benefiting Reyes here.
Wild shot and easy takedown.
Yep.
Fell right into that one, and Pacheco right now
trying to go for the rear naked, positioning that leg. Now it's right next to the howler. You know how difficult that is to get to that position, pinning him there, really close to it.
Able to get back to half guard. Now
nearly a mount.
Trying to get over that far knee to secure the full mount. Not quite there. Heel hook escape. Going hard for it. Good defense so far from Pacheco. Able to stay on top under the neck.
Maybe no, slipped away. Half guard now for Reyes.
Key to jiu-jitsu at this level is when you're on top and you have position, putting the weight down to stay there. That is something neither fighter is really doing. We're seeing a lot of swapping of positions, a lot of scrambles from these positions.
You know, one thing I learned, Jimmie, when I started doing jiu-jitsu is I had that wrestling, that base. You know, and in wrestling is transition, which helps you out so much when it comes to jiu-jitsu.
Here we have the scorecards, and it is Michael Reyes on all 3 judges' scorecards, having taken round number 1. And once again, success from the southpaw stance with that power shot.
Pacheco again trying to reach for that leg, but Reyes now trying to attempt the guillotine. He's zipping in those dips. Don't know how deep it is from this angle. We can't quite see. But he's pushing in those hips. Now transition to the
guillotine.
Take a back and forth.
From Pacheco. He's going hard for it, almost rolling into mount. This might be finished.
Can't see it from this angle, but Jimmie,
it's deep, that's it!
Wow!
A tap out from Michael Reyes.
Wow!
Rodolfo, victory for Enrique Pacheco, but you talked about the inconsistency of Michael Reyes, and it was on display tonight.
And it's up and down like a roller coaster. You don't know what Reyes you're gonna get. I know he's a little down on himself there in the howler.
But throughout this fight, up and down, losing positions, getting positions, ending up in submissions, and finally ending up in the wrong submission at the wrong time.
Right here, that guillotine has been searched on for years, and he finally caught on to it. Pacheco landing it in, how sweet it is. I almost felt like I was watching a soccer match where those fans there screaming, Chi, Chi, Chile. Boy, that has to help him. But listen, again, Chile, you know, some of these countries that we've seen here in Combate Global, to do these sort of things, right? You know that they've had this strong base in kickboxing and stand-up, but to submit someone, it just goes to show you how much of an impact, a huge wave it's making in Latin America.
The world is catching up, and that on display, a great submission. Enrique Pacheco, the Nightmare, gets it done. And welcome back to Combate Global. You see the two gladiators in La Jaula, but only one can end up victorious. Omar Amador tells us who it was.
A 2 minutos 11 segundos del segundo asalto. 2 minutes and 11 seconds in the second round. Esta pelea es detenida por sumisión. This fight is over by submission con un guillotine choke para el ganador de Chi-Chi-Chi-Le-Le-Le, Enrique La Pesadilla Pacheco.
Excellent technique from Enrique Pacheco. Not just that, staying in this fight after a very tough round number one.
Probably the best victory in his pro career. He has to hang on there. I'm sure he'll look back as he gets older and look at this bout that he had against Reyes, a more experienced fighter. And look at the difference there in the stats, Jimmie.
Right, the strike percentage, absolutely absurd. 50 punches to Enrique Pacheco, 17. It wasn't about the takedowns. It was about the submissions, and Michael Reyes found himself in submission trouble throughout this fight.
Many, many times. He escaped about twice or 3 times, but Pacheco finally landed that guillotine choke he's been searching for.
That's the thing about submissions, unlike strikes, is I only need one. And Enrique Pacheco needed one mounted guillotine to get it done. An outstanding performance for the Nightmare. Welcome back to Combate Global. We've had amazing action so far as you are looking at La Jaula, which has been the scene of some amazing finishes so far tonight. Look, when you think Combate Global, you think aggression, you think fighters stepping forward, taking 3 to give 1. But tonight, what we've seen so far, Rodolfo, is it also only takes 1 mistake. That's a universal in MMA.
And we saw it today, right now, with Pacheco and Reyes. Got over and over and over. The transitions were there, but Pacheco, listen, he had that grit. He was determined to get that submission victory, and he did. He never gave up. When you look at his footage, Jimmie, it's striking. Today, that was not the case. It was a different person inside La Jaula, and credit goes to the evolution of a fighter. We talked about earlier, right? Whether you win or lose, do you look at what you did? What do you fix it, or do you keep on the same lane? You have to be able to switch gears, man, if you have to be and get, because as you go higher in the mountain, you're going to find difficult obstacles along the way.
And speaking of difficult obstacles along the way, Eduardo Anaya versus Max Gonzalez, guys whose styles just defy description. Omar Amador will get us started.
Entrando a La Jaula, Eduardo Anaya.
You are looking at Eduardo Anaya. Got involved in MMA after his father got in legal trouble, 13 years old. He said, I would watch Cain Velasquez, the great Mexican-American fighter. He motivated me to start training, to get into this sport. The aggression, the technique, right. Cain Velasquez made a lot of us fans.
Big fan of Cain, and you know the record goes, is he the best heavyweight of all time? But that's another conversation to have over coffee or tea. Right,
how much time you got? We can spend a whole night talking about that.
We're looking at Anaya making his debut here inside La Jaula. Great opportunity for him to face on Maximiliano. And when you look at this man, it reads striking. But have we seen in Combate Global, have we seen in some of these youngsters that keep climbing up, they give us some tricks, and he's one of them. Just look at his striking. He might fool you.
Don't think he is a one-trick pony. He can do it all. Let's find out about his opponent, Omar Amador. Let us know about him.
Y ahora su oponente, Max Gonzalez.
There is Max Gonzalez, 4-2 as a professional, fighting out of Mexico City. Rarely do I watch a fighter and go, what is he doing? I think that all the time when I look at Max Gonzalez. I was studying for this fight. How does he? First thing you told me is, man, his stance is something crazy. He somehow makes it work, right?
If it works for you, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right? And it's worked so far for Max. Now, he has told me that he has tying it up for that boxing. It'll throw you off a little bit. You'll see that back leg very flat-footed, kind of throw you off, and the stance very old school, to say the least. But what's really at stake here, what really pops out when you look at Max, it's his ground game. In fact, he won the 2021 Combate Comeback of the Year, again, available on Paramount Plus. You can check it out, and you'll find out why he won that award in 2021.
Well, he is a jiu-jitsu black belt, but what do the stats say? That's right, a slight height advantage for Anaya, along with a 6-inch reach advantage. Can he make that part of that striking game?
That length can make a huge difference. So how do you defeat it? Well, keep getting close to him. Don't let him use that reach to his advantage.
Using that jab, Omar will get us started.
Ya estamos listos para continuar con mucha más acción con este compromiso pautado a 3 asaltos de 5 minutos en la división peso gallo. We are ready to continue with mucha más acción in this event, packed to 3 rounds of 5 minutes in the bantamweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Richard Green, Vicente Rodríguez, Eliseo Rodríguez. Damas y caballeros, el momento ha llegado para un combate global. Presentando en la esquina azul, introducing in the blue corner, sube con récord de 3 victorias, 2 derrotas. He steps in with a record of 3 victories, 2 defeats. Vistiendo todo de rojo y colores mexicanos. Registró un peso oficial de 136 libras. He registered an official weight of 136 pounds. De Houston, Texas, representando México, Eduardo Anaya. Y en la esquina roja, now introducing the red corner. Sube a la jaula con un récord de 4 victorias, 2 derrotas. He stepped in with a record of 4 victories and 2 losses. Vistiendo negro y blanco, wearing black and white. Registró un peso oficial de 135.2 libras. He stepped in at an official weight of 135.2 pounds. Es de Ciudad de México, Max Steel Gonzalez. El referee para este encuentro, Christopher Mignocchi.
Ok, vamos. Ok, quiero una gran pelea limpia. Cuídate todo el tiempo y escúchame todo el tiempo. Si quieres tocar guantes, toca ahora. Buena suerte a los dos.
We're getting it started in the bantamweight division. I'm trying to keep my head out of the way of the punches of Rodolfo Roman. You are hyped up for this fight as we begin round number 1.
Jimmie, if you look back, at the fight that Max had with Axel Osuna, and if Anaya looked at that video, that's the key to victory. When you start boxing Max, that's when he counters back. And listen, he got knocked out by Axel Osuna, and Osuna ended up getting a title shot out of it. If you go ahead and let him take the bottom, that is where the issue, and that is where Max can take this victory.
Eduardo Anaya in the red trunks. You're seeing Max Steel Gonzalez in the black trunks. Gonzalez, an awkward striking. So you see it there. It's just goofy. It's hard to time, but he's landing that right hand.
Well, it helps for the clinch because you're already ready, prepared. All you need is the head.
Black belt in jiu-jitsu. So far, no attempt to get this to the ground. And Eduardo Anaya, rangy, tricky, good with the lead hand. Yeah,
that's what you need in this fight. Very tricky. You'll see that jab to hook very fast. He'll do it without even missing a heartbeat.
Gonzalez with that herky-jerky style. Kind of guy you spar in the gym. It's just so hard to time. And They end up landing punches. You're not quite sure why, but right now being very aggressive, putting Eduardo and Anaya up against the fence.
But that Max stance, you know, it just throws you off with that back foot. It's just really hard to read.
Interesting, no real attempt from Max Steel Gonzalez to get the takedown yet. Tend to work in this clinch position against the fence, not dropping his hips, not yet thinking double leg.
He's very confident in his striking. He's been wanting to display it more and more and more. In fact, the last time around, he outstruck his opponent and then ended up getting that victory by way of submission in the first round against Carlos Mascoro. And I'm sure that's probably the same game plan for Max in this one. He's trying to let Anaya just get a little bit of shots there, and then he'll switch it.
We'll see here right now so far, content to lean in this over-under position. Now pummeling inside. Will he go for the body lock? No, content right now to stay in this clinch.
Good opportunity to change levels right here, Jimmie. They're not doing much.
And for his part, Eduardo Anaya not doing a whole lot to circle off, not using the opportunity to try to get space yet. A little bit of an attempt to circle there, and Max Gonzalez not allowing it.
And MMA runs in the Gonzalez family. His brother also competes here or has competed in Combate Global. So these guys are always training all the time. They eat, breathe, sleep fighting.
Right now, Eduardo Anaya finally able to get some space, some range.
There's that tricky part from Anaya. You saw that?
Yeah, we'll see if we can make his striking a factor. So far, it has not been one. He's been backed up a little too easily.
Right, what I'm seeing is from Anaya, he'll throw, but he'll leave himself. It's kind of like a swat with that right hand.
Not turning it over, not making it a sharp
no turn, no turn whatsoever. Oh, or like my Cuban coach used to say, tornation.
Turn the punch over. I've heard that a million times. It's like a whip. You want your opponent at the end of your punch. And it is Max Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's good
walking forward. Not how they teach it in boxing class, but so far it's been effective.
It's working, and he just laid a right now on the chin of Anaya.
Throwing those kicks, a bit off balance, but Anaya, no real offense.
I think Anaya...
Oh, nice knee! Oh, good right hand as well!
We might have a quick finish here for Max.
Yeah, Max Gonzalez now all over. Eduardo Anaya was a knee, then a right hand, put him down, but now thinking about grappling. No, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, maybe thinking submission.
This is where he likes. That's where he loves to finish off his opponents, do a little striking, and wrap it up here on the ground. And Jimmie, I want to say that Anaya is probably thrown off because of that stance. I really think so.
Watched any tape, you know that his style is awkward. It's hard to find guys that can simulate that style for rounds and rounds and rounds.
This ain't Hollywood, folks. It's very hard to find someone to play that role.
And so far, the back, both hooks in. Max Steel Gonzalez trying to finish this fight in round number 1. 40 seconds left.
This is textbooks. Steel Gonzalez, this is what he likes right here. Has full control, that black belt coming into fruition, searching for the rear naked.
Right now on the chin, you can still finish it anyway if you get enough crank.
Maybe some shots right here to open him up.
20 seconds left. Don't know if Anaya knows how much time is left in the round. We're gonna hear the clapper in a few seconds. And there it is. Anaya knows there are 10 seconds left. He's gotta fight the armbar. All right, now Max Gonzalez trying to straighten it out. It looks like he will run out of time. And there's the bell.
No te quieres intercambiar, ¿ok? No te quieres intercambiar nada. Necesito que... Sí. Necesito que...
Whenever he's grabbing you in the clinch, priority, don't fucking have your hands low. Priority is get on the inside and get break.
Please, out of the cage. Please, the cage.
Welcome back. You were looking at Eduardo Anaya. There is Max Steel Gonzalez. After a frantic round number 1,
Are you ready?
Eduardo Anaya trying to find a way back into this fight. We begin round number 2. Eduardo didn't see things go his way in round number 1, not putting up behind his punches, not dealing well with the awkward style of Max Gonzalez. What needs to change, Rodolfo?
Jimmie, I just caught wind of what the corner said, and it's a very interesting point in the clinch. Anaya is keeping his hand down. Usually when you're in the clinch, right, you want to fight for that clinch control. But Anaya wasn't doing that. In fact, he had his left hand on the neck and then the right hand to block himself and cover himself. You don't want to do that. And there it is, right there, right at the clinch. Let's see if he adjusts and listen to his corner.
Yeah, as you were saying, hands down. Trying to fight inside a bit. Max Steel Gonzalez landed a good knee from this clinch position in round number 1. Followed it down, followed with a right hand, and then followed Anaya down to the ground.
Clinch work, especially in the sparring, is so exhausting, especially for your neck. The next day, you're just out, right? But it's so effective.
You're bringing back horrible memories, Rodolfo. I would prefer if you did not do that.
Oh, trust me, yeah. So you get in a car accident because your neck is just hurt so much. But either way, the point is here, he has to keep those hands up, exchange, and then the open scoring, Max, of Jimmie.
You see Max Gonzalez, all 3 judges saying round number 1, 10-9. No surprise there at all.
No, it's just Gonzalez all way. And again, that style of fighting. And look how he just, it's not your typical boxing stance. It's not like, it's just left to right. It's not no duck, no squat, right? It really throws you off, Jimmie.
And finally, Anaya able to get a couple of strikes in, but just doesn't seem to have the urgency. Certainly not fighting like he's behind. Certainly not fighting like he needs to somehow solve this riddle to get back in the fight. The word that keeps springing to my mind is kind of, he's fighting in a lackadaisical way, not turning it over, not being aggressive enough with his combination.
But it throws you off, and it's doing the work against Anaya as Max connected with that shot.
Yeah, but not enough urgency from Anaya, not doing enough to kind of back Gonzalez off.
And he has that reach, which he's using. Right, we're back to the clinch work. Now he had his hands on his neck, pushed him off.
Gonzalez, no fear of walking forward. You know, rule number 1 in MMA, if you don't give your opponent to back off, a reason to back off, he's not going to do it.
He won't.
Yeah.
It's like a dog who hasn't ate in weeks.
Yeah. They will come get it here. Combate Global in La Jaula. They come to bring it. Max Steel Gonzalez, no exception at all.
Max using their La Jaula to scoop him up perhaps and take him down to the ground. He's grabbing onto that right leg to scoop. Now switching it to double.
Needs to pull that knee off the fence to get the takedown, and Anaya in Kimura position. Really hard to finish from here.
It's a very difficult position, but Gonzalez's corner there, just be patient, be calm.
Do the kids watch Renzo Gracie Sakuraba these days? I don't want to reference a fight that, you know.
That's a very, no, it's fine. Hey, we're the experts, right?
I'm just pointing out, it doesn't always work that way. It isn't always easy to finish the Kimura from standing.
I mentioned Dan Severn, you know, those type of guys.
Don't get me started. And once again, aggression from Max Gonzalez. Good kick from Anaya, landing on the elbow. But even when he has some success, he doesn't combo off of it enough to really maximize it. And Gonzalez pressing the advantage.
Yeah, Anaya, if he hits, he goes back. You have to be just consistent. And he has the striking power. He has the reach.
He has the back, 1 hook in.
And you know what, Anaya, when they're in the feet, use some of that lead, that lead leg. Max is giving it to you all day. So just chop it down, let him come to you.
But Anaya finds himself in trouble on the feet and now on the ground, body triangle position.
Right, he got that triangle. Doesn't have the figure 4
Not hooked,
yet.
yeah.
He's trying, and there it is. He's attempting to, and he's going to use La Jaula to help him obtain that position.
But yeah, 45 seconds left. Round number 2 in a fight that is very under control, but we haven't seen yet in Anaya in this round that sense of urgency, fighting like he's behind.
None whatsoever.
Trying to get the armbar on the way out. Yep. 30 seconds left, trying to isolate the right arm of Eduardo Anaya.
No toes in the cage.
They heard the referee say no toes in the cage. As his corner says, walk up the cage. That would be the direction to get out of this.
That's a very awkward position here, Jimmie.
It's tough because they're not in the center of La Jaula, so there's not a lot of room for this to extend the arm. And good job from Anaya, but as far as the round goes, it's going to be too little, too late. Oh, rear naked choke. As I was about to say, too little, too late. And he hangs on.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Estás ganando cuando lo pegas a la jaula. Pégalo más a la jaula. ¿Sí? ¿Ok? Y si vas a entrar, entra bien. Muévete. No tienes que estar intercambiando a lo pendejo. ¿Ok? Usa la jaula para descansar. ¿Sí? Necesito que uses la jaula para descansar. Solo es un round más. Solo es exhausted.
Let's go. Let's get him out of there. He was fucking done. He was fucking done. Throw everything straight. Let it go. Let it go.
You are looking at Max Steel Gonzalez taking on Eduardo Anaya. If there are 5 more seconds in round number 2, this would have been an incredible comeback. Do you agree, Rodolfo?
Jimmie, if that's not motivation for Anaya, then I don't know what is. His corner just told him, you got this. As for Max, his corner told him, pin him to la jaula. If you're, it seems like he's a little tired the way that his corner was talking to him. So pin him to la jaula so you could rest. Those were the words, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. Pinning him to la jaula. He listened to his coach, which happens to be his brother.
Easy double A, getting around the guard with the takedown.
And now,
yep. Same position we've seen over and over in this fight. Max Gonzalez taking the back.
And look, right at the end of that second round, I could have sworn I saw Max's eyes just go back for a second. Like you said, maybe 2 more seconds, that fight would have just been done.
It would have been absolutely over. You know, Max just let his guard down. Now working for the rear naked. A chin lock from here, trying to crank on it. Kind of an awkward position. He could still get it.
He got a little overconfident there, meaning himself exposed. Has to be careful. That right there just going to teach him a lesson that he can't go very loose on Anaya because he's still dangerous, even though Gonzalez, what seems to be, is ahead in that second and first round.
Tell you all the time, protect yourself at all times, but it's hard. You know, you're winning the round, 3 or 4 seconds left, you let your guard down for a second. As you said, 2 more seconds, he might have been out.
Yeah, but this ain't the open highway, Jimmie. You can't put your car on cruise control here, right? You have to keep your foot on the pedal to move because there's a whole bunch of vehicles like in Miami. You're driving, it might hit you. You got to control yourself, protect yourself. Driving the defense.
And right now, Max Gonzalez finding himself in unfamiliar territory in this fight, on his back, trying to work from open guard. Eduardo Anaya on top. And, you know, despite what happened in the last second of round number 2, you know, that was certainly Max Gonzalez's round. I mean, I would have to assume he's up 2 rounds to none at this point. Of course, we have open scoring. As soon as we find out the scores, we will let you know. But Eduardo Anaya has to fight like it's now or never. His opponent said, his corner said, get him out of here in this round. It's got to be sound advice.
And get him away from this position here because it's benefiting Max. It's a point where he recovers, and it's a point where he's working his jiu-jitsu.
He is a black belt working from closed and open guard here. Wrist control, got to look out for the triangle there and loses it.
It's all there for you. He's showing, he's displaying it. He's just waiting. But I think Gonzalez learned his lesson from that last round. And there's the open scoring, Jimmie.
Yeah, you see it. Max Gonzalez, as we figured, up 2 rounds to none over Eduardo Anaya. Anaya needs a 10-8 this round for a draw, or he needs a finish to get the W. Not easy to do with 2 minutes left.
If he wants to win it, he has to finish it. That's the only way Anaya leaves Miami, Florida with a W.
It's been an issue throughout this fight, is the sense of urgency or lack of urgency for Eduardo Anaya, despite being, despite fighting from behind this entire fight. He hasn't exactly turned up the gas the way we would imagine he would in this circumstance.
Yeah, he's very much a neutral. He's been for the ride.
You have to ask yourself as a fighter, are you out here to not get hurt? Are you out here to win? Now going for the Darce.
Jimmie, the Darce.
Trying to lock it up.
He may have something here. Perhaps, Jimmie,
A lot more time, minute 21 left in round number 3.
Let's see how Max's jiu-jitsu is in that transitioning. How good it is going to be tested.
He's got to use his left elbow to get some space. He has to stay with the hips of Anaya. Not let him step over, not let him wrap it up. So far, Max still looking good.
Gonzalez doing what he needs to do, defending himself to get away of this position. It seems like it's going to break.
Maybe earlier on in the fight, Anaya would have had the gas to finish that round number 3. Max steal Gonzalez.
Max
may have worn him out a little too much.
I think what Max is doing here is positioning him more to La Jaula so he can catch that breath. And now we're back to the stand-up. Now this is where Anaya has to do something. You got 35 seconds to go.
Exactly. If you have your punches, throw them. Can't take them home with you.
You can't sleep on it.
Yep. He wants the victory now. He's got to be thinking knockout. And the time ticks away. We're down to 20 seconds. This is the best Anaya has done in this fight. It's round number 3, but will it be enough? 13 seconds left. He needs a finish in order to win.
Could have had a chance there for a knee once he got on his feet.
Gonzalez being very smart, angling.
Yep.
Looks like a decision win for Max Gonzalez. Anaya just not turning it up when he needed to.
Not whatsoever. Very cautious throughout the fight, Jimmie. Didn't do what he had to do.
But Max Steel Gonzalez very happy with his performance. A dominant round 1 and 2. And it looks like that's enough to get the decision win. We'll make it official when we come back.
Después de 3 asaltos de mucha más acción, after 3 rounds of mucha más acción, los jueces están todos en acuerdo. All the judges are in agreement for a victory, 2 rounds to 1. Para el ganador por decisión unánime de Ciudad de México, Max Steel Gonzalez.
No surprise, first 2 rounds to Max Gonzalez. That is enough to get the win over Eduardo Anaya. 2 rounds to 1. That's another victory to his ledger. Awkward style and all, he gets it done.
It worked out for him, of course. He went to his bread and butter, which is the ground game, which ended up working for him. But that stance, Jimmie, is just so hard to read. And no matter what, Axel Osuna was the guy who figured him out. They really just KO'd him or TKO'd him, but let's take a look at some of the work. It was the takedown. He didn't give up. But Anaya, it just seemed like he wasn't there. He didn't just react, he didn't exchange, and if he threw one, he just didn't give 2 back. He just gave maybe 1, half of 1. Just wasn't enough. It was only in that 2nd round that if he would have kept it on for another 2-3 seconds, he would have submitted Max, but it was a little too late. And then he did for the Darce choke, not enough. Max did enough what he had to do as a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Good stuff to defend himself. The victory goes for Max Steel Gonzalez.
And was it a story of the numbers? When we look at the stats, does it tell the story of the fight? A lot more punches for Gonzalez, not a surprise, but it was the takedowns, 2-0 over Anaya. The ground and pound, the submission attempts, they were there, but that awkward striking game. 44 kicks, 115 punches, accuracy 84%. It may look goofy, not how they teach you to do it, but it landed.
Nobody wrote the book. As long as it's working for you, why change?
It was an action-packed fight, but the action continues on Combate Global. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Combate Global. We are in the Univision studios here in Miami. Everybody recovering from a very, very happy St. Paddy's Day. And the action has been fast and furious from the beginning, Rodolfo. You see it here. Gonzalez with that awkward style, able to get it done. A lot of great clinch work in this fight.
Lots of clinch work, and Anaya just got the memo in that 2nd round to don't keep your hands down in the clinch. But just Max did exactly what he needed to do. Exchanged a bit. Anaya wasn't retaliating. He wasn't firing back. and he knew that. So then since then, he took that to the ground game where he worked his stuff. Now, it was in the second round where Anaya nearly took the victory, but thanks to the bell, he escaped and lived to live another round.
You know, there's an expression, something out of horseshoes and hand grenades, the only time close is important. Yeah, if he had another 2 seconds, but that lack of urgency from Eduardo Anaya, he was behind, but didn't fight like he was behind. He looks at this tape and regrets the pacing he fought in.
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna look at that second round. There it is, you're looking at it. Boom. I knew that's gonna irk him tomorrow night. He's like, if I only had just 3 more seconds, I would have had that victory. But Max, consistent with the takedown, just wasn't giving it away. He knew that Anaya wasn't doing anything, none of the stuff that we had seen in his footage as far as his striking. Very tricky, couldn't really figure him out. He wasn't doing it. It was Max who was the puzzle that was hard to figure out in this fight.
You know, Anaya there on the ground, using his build, using his range, but not using it on the feet. When he studied for this fight, we saw a great jab from him. We saw a great lead hook. All of that gone against Max Gonzalez, and that's why Max Gonzalez walking out the victor.
Another victory for him inside La Jaula. Max Steel Gonzalez, and this fight right here, Jimmie. Great, it's a big nightmare for Mikey Reyes, as Pacheco ended up taking the victory.
Right, but you talked about the inconsistency of Reyes, and the way you said it was his career, ups and downs, wins a couple, loses a couple. We saw an inconsistency in this fight where you get the advantage and lose it. A lot of submission attempts by Pacheco. You keep dancing with the devil, you're gonna pay eventually.
You don't want to dance with the devil, especially under the pale of the moonlight, right? So, that's the Joker, Batman.
The Batman did. I remember I saw in the theater, all right?
But there it is. Mikey Reyes, we saw that in that first and second round. It was up and down. He would have the advantage, and then Pacheco will find a way to transition, and he'll have the upper edge. Look at it, right here. Nearly an armbar, and prior to that, I think it was a triangle he nearly had. And he just very consistent, but it was a guillotine. He was searching, searching, searching. He got it in the second round. Bienvenidos, Chile. I know you're happy of your son.
And you see it there, Enrique Pacheco, the mounted guillotine. Over and over the triangle armbar, this time the guillotine working, and Michael Reyes, Oxnard, California, back to the drawing board. Enrique Pacheco, to your point, making all of Chile proud with this victory. So there are fighters, there are champions, and then there are absolute stars. And here in Combate Global, we are ready, April 1st, for an absolute star, as rare as they are. The entire fan base is going to be howling for La Loba. How much are you looking forward to this?
You ready to howl?
Ready to go, whether it's in La Jaula or out of it. I cannot wait for the first time to see her. Well, we're all going to see her come April 1st. Don't be a fool. See her here. Ow! Ow!
La Loba!
April 1st, it's going to be outstanding. We have more fights on tap tonight. We come back at Paramount Plus with our feature fights right after this. Welcome back to Combate Global. Jimmie Smith alongside Rodolfo Roman. Our feature fights about to get started. One thing that we learned last week is the women come to bring it, especially when they set the show off. Same thing happening tonight.
Man, if those fights right now, it's just awesome. What is in store for us for the main card? It's going to be awesome with Valentina Escobar taking on Aitana Alvarez. Looking forward to that one. And of course, my man, Jimmie Pace Jr. taking on Jose Matuz. Again, we know what Pace is all about. We know the power. He benches 400 pounds. He has great wrestler, all that stuff. But don't count a Mexican out. And we got to remember, Jimmie, 1-0 United States. Justin picked up that win for the USA. Can he continue that streak, or will Matuz do it for Mexico? Hey, Mexico beat Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic, which is a huge upset. Anything can happen now inside La Jaula.
Look, this is MMA totally different, but Burgos versus Tena, when you and I discussed this card and what was coming up, when we discussed this fight, you had fight of the night right there. And so far, we've been pretty good with that. That ability of both those guys to throw heavy leather without any regard to what's coming back at them, that's what's made them great. But it's the ladies kicking it off. That's right. Aitana Alvarez versus Valentina Escobar. You are looking right now. Getting ready, getting set. It's Valentina Escobar. She is the judo stylist versus Aitana Alvarez right there. From Spain, eyeballing her opponent. You feel the intensity? That's nothing compared to what happens when the door of La Jaula closes. Whatever you do, get ready for the action and don't go anywhere. Welcome inside Univision Studios. They're looking right now at Valentina Escobar, bouncing around, getting ready to go. There's her opponent, Aitana Alvarez, San Sebastian, Spain. You see the flag behind her. But Valentina Escobar from Santiago, Chile. You talked about it earlier tonight. I don't care if it's Chile, I don't care if it's Spain, I don't care if it's Panama. It seems like the skill set that used to be relegated in North America is spreading all over the place.
MMA, right? At one point, right, it was banned in states, the United States and North America. Now it's all over the world. You know, was it France? It was illegal not some time ago. Now we're spreading everywhere, and we're seeing that, right? All that knowledge is carried all over the world.
And it's not just the ladies kicking it off for us tonight. Jose Matuz versus Jimmie Pace Jr. Mexico versus the United States. Pride on the line, but let's go head-to-head with our featured bout opener. Weight the same, age similar, similar heights. The story of this fight isn't in the numbers, it's in the styles. Omar, kick it off for us.
Ya estamos listos, damas y caballeros, para este choque de damas, pautado a 3 asaltos de 5 minutos a un peso pactado de 120 libras. We are ready for this clash of ladies, about set for 3 rounds of 5 minutes at a catch weight of 120 pounds. Los jueces son, the judges are James Lázaro, Richard Green, Vicente Rodríguez. Damas y caballeros, ya ha llegado el momento que todos esperaban para un combate global. Presentando en la esquina azul, introducing in the blue corner. Sube con un récord de 3 victorias, 4 derrotas, vistiendo todo de negro. Registró un peso oficial de 120.4 libras. She registered a weight of 120.4 pounds. Ella es de San Sebastián, España. Aitana Alvarez. Y ahora presentamos en la esquina roja a su oponente. Now we introduce her opponent in the red corner. Sube a la jaula con un récord invicto de 3 victorias. She comes with an undefeated record of 3 victories. Vistiendo azul y rojo. Registró un peso oficial de 119 libras. She registered an official weight of 119 pounds. Es de Santiago de Chile, Valentina Escobar. Y el referee para este encuentro de Panamá, Marcos Pérez.
Aldo, ok, ya saben las reglas. Es una pelea limpia. Sigan mi comando en todo momento. Toquen guantes. Tus esquinas.
We are about to get underway. Round number 1. That is Valentina Escobar out of Santiago, Chile. And across La Jaula, you're looking at Aitana Alvarez.
Lita.
And we are underway, round number 1.
Aitana Alvarez being cornered by Andrea Meneses, who also competes here inside La Jaula, Combate Global. And Valentina, we've seen so many folks from Chile competing today. It makes me hungry. I want to eat a pastel de choclo. I got to teach you what that's about, Jim. You don't know about that.
Dude, I got to go out there. Been to Chile.
Only best thing I learned about my ex, right? Is the pastel de choclo.
Oh, don't get me started about mine. But this is where if Aitana Alvarez is going to have her opportunities in this fight, we believe it's going to be on the feet. She is rangy, she is long, throws good straight punches. Taking on a fighter with much better judo and a better top game. Kickboxing is where she's going to score her points.
And what she likes to do is Valentina will come in, strike, and then will have that wide range space between the two, and you'll see it. There's a wide gap between that stance. Aitana, though, she's different. She likes to come right at you, so she's going to try to close that distance.
Good work with the lead hand to set up the power shot. A lot of stance switches.
Yeah, Valentina, very
Escobar,
athletic.
yeah.
Very athletic young lady, training out of Brazil and Chile. She does a lot of that groundwork in Brazil and
great place
to
do it.
Yeah, I mean, they're neighbors pretty much, right? Not that far.
So far, confidence in the striking from Valentina Escobar. See her in the blue and red.
But Escobar knows,
black.
Escobar knows that striking power from Aitana.
So far being very elusive. Yeah. Changing angles quite a bit because she does not want to be in front of those power shots.
No, Aitana does have a lot of power, especially that right hand. She'll do that 1-2 with lots of power. Great way to move back from Escobar.
Quick jab so far. Good work with the lead hand.
Like as she squats down and comes in, you know, try to throw her off a bit. Reading her quite well. It seems now that Valentina switched gears. She's up usually on the offensive, but now she's following Alvarez.
You see it a lot of times, mirroring, right? Your opponent does what you do. Good step in right hand. Hooks at the same time. But if Alvarez thought she was going to have her way with Escobar on her feet, you know, so far she knows that, you know, Escobar's picked up some decent striking.
Great way. Yeah, Aitana is corner Meneses again, who competes here in Combate, telling her to work the body of Escobar. Lots of work to the body, just don't stick to the head.
Nice combination there, jab, hook, right hand right behind it.
Lots of power in that back leg from Alvarez, Jimmie.
So far, yeah. So far, this is you know, kickboxing in MMA gloves. Neither fighter really trying to clinch. There it is. As soon as we say it, and they start clinching.
There's that judo.
No surprise, but not able to get her weight on top. Yeah.
She has a little experience, hence was able to defend herself well.
Man, she angled out at the right time. Didn't let that weight come down on top of her. You don't want an experienced judo player. You don't want their hips in front of you.
You know, to me in wrestling, to me it was just as you come closer, you grab that arm, right? And as you toss them, you're right there for the pin.
And there's the toss right there, but it's not what we expected. Aitana Alvarez ending up on top. We'll see what Valentina Escobar can do from the bottom right now, stuck in half guard.
Let's see what some of the work that Escobar has done. She says she's been focusing a lot on that groundwork.
I'm telling you, groundwork while somebody's punching you and elbowing you.
A whole different ball game.
Totally different ball game.
Different ball game.
Yep. So far, it is Aitana Alvarez playing the conservative game on top, trying to land with that right hand. Now sitting up for a big shot.
Alvarez looking real good. And look, when she took on Tyler Schiffer, who was also a striker, this was the game plan. She played the game a little bit of the striking, and what did she do? She pinned her to the jaula and just ground and pounded, and that's how she ended up winning.
Now, Aitana Alvarez 2-4 as a professional. Valentina Escobar 3-0, so not as successful, but twice as many fights. You know, just more experience, more time in the jaula, and these are the kind of fights where that pays off. On top, you're not making the big mistakes, not letting your opponent back in the fight.
And that experience, she's been there. She's been in this position. She knows what to do. She's learned from her mistakes.
10 seconds left to go in round number 1 so far.
Because look, arms are available there for Escobar, not doing much. Of what she's doing, she's just moving the elbow. Now she's attempted a triangle there, but that's about it.
Good round from Aitana Alvarez. A little bit of surprise getting on top. The kickboxing, that's kind of how we figured that would go, but good takedown. Got to be feeling confident as this round ends.
Going into the second round, Alvarez definitely has to go with her head on her shoulders, as Vanessa's here trying to get her ready for that next episode of this bout, but sharp. She stopped Escobar. Let's take a look at the replay here, what took place in that first round. She attempted the toss. Alvarez, though, reading her quite well, keeping that grip, not letting her go, not having position, and then from this position, chipping her down, landing on her body on top. Good way of positioning her weight, not letting Escobar do anything whatsoever. All the Escobar really did from his position was landing some elbows, but that's about it, Jimmie.
An excellent first round for Aitana Alvarez. Excellent job with kickboxing so far, though. Valentina Escobar looking good, not looking discouraged. Ready to get after it in round number 2.
Alvarez just looks determined right now. Just look at those eyes. She's ready to go.
She has an intense look on her face at all times. Here is round number 2. Aitana Alvarez in the black. Her opponent, Valentina Escobar, in the blue and red.
Gotta go with that teep, but did not connect against Alvarez.
Impressed me in round number 1 is the lead handwork.
No feints from Escobar, you know that? No feints. Just a lot of movement and striking. And, you know, the feint is a technique in itself. How to know how to use it, when to use it.
Aitana Alvarez stepping in with a good right hand, and clinch initiated by Valentina Escobar. Started training judo at age 14. When she gets on top, she is absolutely relentless, but so far Alvarez hasn't allowed that to happen.
She's great work there for the hooks, positioning herself. Good way of the clinch, had the upper hand, throwing in the elbow there. Didn't connect, but enough to throw you off.
No surprise here, all 3 judges saw the first round for Aitana Alvarez. We have open scoring here at Combate Global. The fighters know exactly what the score is if their corners tell them.
And how awesome it is, Jimmie, to have that open scoring. It gives you the heads up. There's no secret.
You know how hard you have to push in that second and third round.
Every other sport has scores, right? Why not?
We don't wonder if somebody got a touchdown.
Yeah.
We know. Yep.
Why hide it?
And so far, Valentina Escobar, nice, sharp right hand, content to strike. Now, getting inside in the clinch, in that body lock position.
Alvarez is doing a great job of stopping that movement from Escobar and from that quick, speedy hand.
Ooh, nice elbow over the top from Escobar.
And this is how you stop a striker, Jimmie. Moving forward, get her in the clinch.
Make it dirty, 3 minutes left to go in round number 2.
Escobar, they're searching for a toss, searching for a trip.
Thinking briefly inside trip. Alvarez, you got to break away from these positions.
And she's doing a great job at it.
Committing to the throw, finally getting it.
She finally got it. Now what can Alvarez do from this position? Will it be Escobar, who uses her weight, rightfully so, to land in some shots? Although when you look at the two, Jimmie, Alvarez tends to be the more stronger one of the two physically, right?
Now she's in lockdown position, that half guard.
And it's hard for her to bridge in this position right there with Escobar's right hand in the back of Alvarez.
You have a little rookie mistake here, holding on to the head of Escobar. You want to be able to move, you want freedom. She doesn't have that, keeping chest to chest while she's on bottom.
Can't do much.
Yeah, left hand on the hip. Trying to get a little space there, but so far, Escobar not allowing it.
Now she's pushing up, Alvarez. We have that arm still there.
Holding somebody when you're on the bottom, I explained it, is like someone breaking in your house and you lock the door behind them. You don't want that. You want them out. You want them away from you. Right now, you see the grip as Alvarez holding Valentina Escobar on top of her. Needs to move, and only a minute 20 left in round number 2.
Yeah, or put those feet right in the hip to push them off. They would stare. And Alvarez now on the side to push out, but that in itself makes you very vulnerable.
Yeah, but we're seeing the inexperience of Alvarez on the ground, on her back, not doing the things she needs to do from half guard to create space and get up. certainly no submission threats.
None whatsoever. As for Escobar, you know, break that grip, try to get that full mount.
Now, so far, her style has been kind of this relentless short ground and pound, right? She's always on you, always throwing hammer fists. With that ability to get past the guard in really advanced position, we haven't seen much of that.
Not much.
No.
I mean, it's enough to keep it in this position where the ref is not going to stand it up, but how much damage, you know, are those little short punches going to do to the body?
Well, 25 seconds left in round number 2. Now, Escobar seeing things going her way, but Alvarez hanging on, able to stay in this fight, not giving up an advance beyond half guard.
And again,
10
Jimmie,
seconds left.
Alvarez not letting go of those hands.
But that'll burn your arms and shoulders out. We'll see if she can get that back in between rounds 2 and 3. There is Escobar in the corner. Valentina jumped right up. Seemed to have a ton of energy. Like that round kind of mentally got her back in the fight.
Let me see if I can sneak in a peek here on what the corner's saying. I couldn't see it, but let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first round. Vicious elbow from the clinch, Jimmie. I think we're fighting for a good knee for the clinch work, but this is it. This is pretty much that entire round. Escobar on top, landing into short punches to the body. But Alvarez showing that jiu-jitsu practitioner, not much there, keeping that hand locked in, not doing much with it. But let's see if I can sneak in a peek here. Couldn't hear it there to see what advice that coach was telling her.
Well, there's a lot going on. Yeah, I don't blame you for that. Yeah.
It's hard, but I can do it, Jimmie. Trust me.
I know, you're a pro, my man. You're looking at Valentina Escobar. Just beginning her MMA career, 3-0. Aitana Alvarez, 2-4 as a professional. Round number 1, I gotta say, went to Alvarez. We know that. We have open scoring, but haven't seen it yet. But of course, round number 2 had to go to Valentina Escobar, who finishes strong. That's the person who leads with the W tonight.
It's for the marbles right here, the 3rd round. Striking. Alvarez needs to stick to that body work. Some kicks.
Aitana Alvarez doing very well with that lead hand.
Yeah, because what Escobar does is she'll throw you out, she'll switch stance so quickly, you wouldn't even see it coming. She'll turn, boom, quickly switch, southpaw, orthodox.
What that does is it changes the power side, changes the way you defend. Don't see it in time, that power shot slips right through. Aitana Alvarez keeping that stick, that jab in the face of Valentina Escobar.
But that in itself, Jimmie, you have to have good cardio to be switching all the time and mentally prepare yourself. Adjust so quickly.
Yeah, she has a pressure style, does Valentina Escobar. That requires an endless gas tank. That is going to get tested tonight. But still, good spring in her step in round number 3.
She's doing much so exactly what she needs to do here with that striking. She's picking up the pace. And Alvarez, I'm not seeing too much power coming out of her in this 3rd round. Oh, she
nice
got clipped
right
that
hand.
Yeah. She got clipped. Ooh. There's the power from Alvarez now.
Certainly throwing power shots, but it is Valentina Escobar who seems to have the fresher feet. She seems to be moving better than Alvarez.
A lot more. Reading her well. She feels confident. Get a little smile from her. See, she even caught that hand, but she got hit. Oh, the elbow from Alvarez.
No surprise here, the open scoring. It is all tied up, 1 round apiece in this 3rd round. And so far, Valentina Escobar seeing things go her way. 2:45 left in round number 3.
Who wants it more? That's what it comes out to be. Great hook, though, from Escobar.
And who makes the proper adjustment? So far, it's Escobar leaning forward on that left hand. It's like she's changed her timing just enough to surprise Alvarez and having success with her aggression on the feet.
I think what's helping Escobar here is that the gas is not there for Alvarez anymore.
Oh! She spent most of round 2 on the bottom. And that can be very fatiguing, especially you don't have the jiu-jitsu chops to, conserve your energy in those positions. Held on the entire time, could have burned out her shoulders and arms.
Great movement there from Escobar. Moving the head. Coming in.
Look at these
stick and move
stats. Escobar, 121 punches, 24 kicks. Compared to Alvarez, 105 and 2. Total strikes, about 40 ahead, and she's adding to her total with those. Valentina Escobar.
Escobar not putting the pressure here.
Yeah, showing she has judo in her back pocket, but I can knock you out as well.
Judo, when they talk about MMA, some people really underestimate it. One guy that had a great judo is Hector Lombard, known for his judo. And
Carl Parisian, if you remember him. Yeah, there's a few of them.
And boy, once they started picking up the rest of the stuff, the tools, amazing work.
Yeah, great top pressure, great submission defense, great commitment to the takedowns. Oh, nice. Right hand from Alvarez, pushing forward. Trying to get it back, but less than a minute. Ooh, Alvarez has to land something big. Turn this fight around, because right now, Valentina Escobar very comfortable with the stand-up. A little bit of surprise in this strategy. She stayed in the pocket, she kickboxed, and she found success in this 3rd round.
Very good work from Escobar. Great movement from the feet, angling, that switching the stance. If she goes to the clinch, she'll do some damage as well. 20 seconds left, Jimmie.
Escobar still moving well. Not being an easy target as Alvarez desperately moving forward. 10 seconds left. She needs a big shot. Needs a knockout to turn this one around.
Searching for something.
It is not to be. Valentina Escobar, amazing job in that 3rd round with her kickboxing.
Escobar picked up the pace. You know what we've seen from the judges, right? But if we look at this, it seems that Escobar would take this round.
I know you're qualifying it. I understand you're a jaded man who's been in MMA for a long time. I feel exactly the same way. I gave that last round pretty solidly to Valentina Escobar. She landed better punches. She had great movement, great offense. Surprising on the feet, but we will find out if the judges agree right after this. Welcome back to Combate Global. After a 15-minute war, we'll find out who ended up on top. Aitana Alvarez versus Valentina Escobar, Chile or Spain. Omar, let us know.
Después de 3 asaltos de mucha más acción, after 3 rounds of mucha más acción, vamos a las tarjetas. We go to the scorecards. Judge James Lázaro scores the fight 29-28 in favor of Alvarez. Judge Vicente Rodriguez scores the fight 29-28 for Escobar. And Judge Richard Greens sees the fight 29-28. Y el juez Richard Green ve la pelea 29-28 para la ganadora por decisión dividida, for the winner by split decision de Santiago de Chile, Valentina Escobar.
No surprise there. I saw you a little worried. I saw you a little worried. A split decision goes the right way. Now 4-0 Valentina Escobar.
Wow, great stuff. She picked up the pace. Listen, it's what that open scoring is all about. They tell you about the 1st round. They tell you about the 2nd round. You know what you have to do in the 3rd. That's exactly what Escobar did. I know Alvarez wasn't happy about it, but hey, that's what they say. You never leave it to the judges. I can't repeat that any more times. And Escobar did what she had to do. She outstruck Alvarez in the third round. She used the fast pace, stick and move. Right there, as we're gonna take a look at some of the work. Look at that, faking that kick and straight to the number 2. Alvarez a little too late. Get a little whiplash there from that straight, stiff jab from Escobar. Just good stuff from this young lady who continues to be undefeated in La Jaula. Chile is in full effect. You have earned your Pisco Sour, Valentina.
4-0 now in her young career. We talk about her judo, her top pressure. What was on display tonight was her willingness to stand and bang against a much bigger opponent, a much stronger opponent. Didn't matter. She got the unanimous decision win, the split decision win, able to stay in the face of her opponent. A little bit of a surprise there.
Listen, every fighter's always gonna say they win, right? That's just what it is. And let's just look at the stats, Jimmie. It's right there for in front of them. To look at the numbers. 140 to 135, the 32 kicks to Escobar, and the effectiveness there, that is where the difference is. 83% for Escobar, Jimmie. The fight in itself, the number in itself, fact speaks.
And Alvarez needing to work on that ground game. Stuck on the bottom, not able to get space. Valentina Escobar able to ice that round number 2. So Aitana Alvarez knows what she needs to go back and do. You see the hands getting wrapped. That's right.
Matuz.
Jose Matuz versus Jimmie Pace Jr. Jimmie Pace Jr. saying, I'm going to finish this one. I'm going to finish it quickly. His dad in the audience, Jimmie Pace Sr., says it's going to be a first round finish. If you want to join us, don't forget, come by the jaula.
Disfrutar de mucha más acción, te invitamos a Combate Global, el evento de artes marciales mixtas que te hará vibrar cada semana. Llama ahora y consigue tus entradas de forma gratuita. No te lo pierdas, te esperamos ya.
Welcome back to Combate Global. It's been an action-packed night tonight. Feel like confidence and your ability to sell yourself and tell everybody how great you are, well then, it's gonna continue. That's right, Jimmie Pace Jr. You have the guts to call yourself Jimbo Slice. What does that mean? You're heavy-handed, you love the finish.
That's it, Jimbo Slice. He earned that nickname. He just pretty much walked through every fight in the amateur levels. In his last fight in La Jaula, his pro debut, he walked all over his opponent. But now this man stands in his way, the Mexican Jose Matuz, who says, I'm not really surprised with this. I'm not taking away. I'm going to bring it to him. I fight like a Mexican. And Matuz has a lot on his shoulders. 1-0 for the United States. Mexico needs a victory tonight.
Well, another thing is Jimmie Pace Jr. He's aggressive, has a great takedown. Says, I bench 400 pounds, but he eats a lot of punches. Jose Matuz going to try and make him pay tonight.
Empecé hace aproximadamente 6 años. Lo que me inspiró para convertirme en peleador yo creo que es el bullying que sufrimos la mayoría de los mexicanos y pues la familia, llevar un mejor futuro a mi familia. ¿Y cómo lo voy a hacer? Destacando y siendo campeón. Sí, así como el MMA en la vida hay que ser disciplinados y hay que ser perseverantes para alcanzar nuestros objetivos. Yo soy striker 100%, pero tampoco no le tengo miedo al piso. Si llegamos al piso, levantarme y volverlos a meter a mi estilo que es el striking. En el mejor de los casos, voy a terminar rápido con él, conectándonos los botones en la quijada y terminando. Venga, que ahora vamos a darnos todo en la jaula y hay que hacer un gran show y que gane el mejor.
Jose Matuz saying he doesn't care about the size, doesn't care about the strength. He seems excited to be out there tonight. And of course, family in the audience for Jimmie Pace Jr. His father, a martial artist who, he's going to be screaming instructions. You know that.
Oh, come on, you have to. Haven't you seen, you have daughters. I have a son. I have a daughter who's in dancing. I'm screaming, do this, do the twiddle, twaddle, whatever you got to do. It's hard to be a father, and if you have that background as a mixed martial artist or a martial artist, it's hard, man.
But the thing is, he always brings it for the fans. Come join us and see for yourself.
De mucha más acción, te invitamos a Combate Global, el evento de artes marciales mixtas que te hará vibrar cada semana. Llama ahora y consigue tus entradas de forma gratuita. No te lo pierdas, te esperamos ya.
Hear that bass? Well, it is shaking in La Jaula tonight. You're looking at the reason why. Jimmie Pace Jr. just 1-0 is coach of the Goat Shed to your left, but it's not just the energy he brings in La Jaula, it's the energy he brings outside of it as well. Jimmy Smith, Rodolfo Roman, we got to hold on to our headsets. Why? In his 1-0 career, he won, jumped over the side of La Jaula, put on a headset, started doing commentary. He will take this whole place with him. That's how much energy he has every time you sit down with him. It isn't just about what he does. It isn't just about his skill set. It's about the energy he brings into everything he does. Get to know Jimmie Pace Jr.
I want to bring the show to my fans, you feel me? I want them to be able to be in their element. I don't feel like I'm wild. I feel like my style is just different. A lot of people compare me to Kimbo Slice. I'm a brawler, but at the end of the day, I know what I'm doing. I'm not going in there trying to kill myself to kill you. I know your weaknesses. I know your strong suits. Winning mixed up with being cocky and arrogant. Some people are cocky and arrogant, but I feel like winning is everything. Why would you want to be a loser? My opponent, I'm going to break him. You feel me? He don't get out the first round. This is going to be the easiest fight of my life. Bro, I appreciate you for taking the fight. Just know I'm finna kill you.
When you look at the confidence Jimmie Pace Jr. brings, it's based on that physical skill. He's built like an absolute freight train, very athletic, able to change levels very, very well. Can you stop his takedown?
No, that guy's a powerhouse. He tells you, but one thing I wanted to point out, and I saw that promo there, the eyes. It was one thing that Kimbo had, the eyes. And something they always tell you in fighting, you know, sometimes the eyes will tell you everything if you follow up. Just follow them, they'll tell you everything. But listen, Pace is a savage. Strength, power, technique. We're going to see a different man inside La Jaula.
Si quieres disfrutar de mucha más acción, te invitamos a Combate Global, el evento de artes marciales mixtas que te hará vibrar cada semana. Llama ahora y consigue tus entradas de forma gratuita. No te lo pierdas, te esperamos ya.
Welcome back to Combate Global. There's a man who believes in his abilities. Let Omar Amador get it started.
Entrando a la jaula, José Matuz.
There is José Matuz. He knows what is on his shoulders tonight. He knows he's taking on a great athlete with real explosive ability, finishing ability. In the last fight went 1 minute in round number 1. But Matuz talks about the vulnerabilities of Jimmie Pace Jr. We've seen them on display.
And one thing that we forgot to mention, Jimmy, you know, Pace is a football player. And this man over here used to play rugby. And those guys are tough dudes.
Alexander Volkanovski, ring a bell?
Yeah,
they are tough dudes, right?
That's all we got to say about that. So he can take a punch, he can take a hit, and he's ready. Now, what it's different about it is, Matuz, he's not a 170. He usually fights sometimes lightweight, a little shorter. He has to make a little bit more weight. So he has a lot of guts and grit to come in here to take on a man like Pace. But what's going to make the difference is that stand-up game. Keep him at bay. Keep him at bay.
Well, he's going to have to make it a stand-up battle. Omar Amador will bring in his opponent.
Y ahora su oponente, now his opponent, Jimmie Pace Jr.
Jimmie Pace Jr., a product of the Goat Shed Academy. Power in both hands. He respects his opponent. He says it's going to be finished, it's going to be early, it's going to be easy work tonight.
He's very confident. He told me this is probably the easiest fight I've ever had. Those were his words. And they're just throwing in the bills. The man loves the hype. He is entertainment. But, you know, we talk about comparing him to Kimbo Slice. I do kind of get that feel. Coming in, the eyes, the demeanor, the look, the intensity, the power that he has. But unlike Kimbo, you know, MMA has evolved over the years. You don't start off as just a striker. This is a man who has wrestling. He's training with the Gold Shed Academy, who have some top-notch stand-up fighters and wrestling. And look, he told me, yes, he's representing the United States. He is from the United States, but he also told me he's working on his Spanish. He said he's been accepted by the Mexican culture, Jimmie.
Oh, when you're as aggressive as he is, that's no surprise. Look at the head-to-head, a height advantage for Jimmie Pace Jr., but a significant reach advantage for Jose Matuz.
Looking forward to this one here. The reach, though, for Pace. It's going to be a fun one. Do not blink.
And Omar Amador will get us started.
Ya todo está listo para el evento estelar de esta noche. The stage is ready for the main event. Es una pelea pautada a 3 asaltos de 5 minutos en el peso welter. This is a fight set to 3 rounds of 5 minutes in the welterweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Eliseo Rodríguez, James Lázaro y Richard Green. Damas y caballeros, el momento ha llegado y que se escuche para un combate global. Presentando en la esquina azul, introducing in the blue corner, with record of 2 victories and 2 losses, con récord de 2 victorias y 2 derrotas, vistiendo verde blanco, representando el tricolor mexicano, registró un peso oficial de 168.8 libras. He registered an official weight of 168.8 pounds. Es de Guadalajara, México, José Matuz. Y su oponente en la esquina roja. Now his opponent in the red corner. En su segunda pelea profesional, in his second professional fight, comes with an undefeated record. Vistiendo negro, he's wearing black. Registró un peso oficial de 170.8 libras. He registered an official weight of 170.8 pounds. Es de Liberty City, Florida, USA, Jimmie El referee para este encuentro, Christopher Minioki.
Get in, al centro, al centro. All right, gentlemen, let's have a good, clean fight. Quiero una pelea limpia. I want you to protect yourself at all times and obey my commands at all times. Quiero que te escúchame y cuídate todo el tiempo. Si quieres tocar guantes, toca ahora. You want to touch gloves? Good luck to both of you.
Jose Matuz in the green shorts. Jimmie Jimbo Slice Pace Jr. in the black shorts.
Okay, round 1. Are you ready? Fighter, are you ready? Fight!
And there's the bell for round number 1. The round, Jimmie Pace Jr. said he's getting this one finished.
I'm not sitting down for this one, Jimmie. There's no way I'm sitting down for this. But Jimmie has a lot of up, and there it is. They're trading. He wanted to go to the wrestling from the start. That's one thing that Jimmie told me the last time around. He said he wanted to test this kicking, and that's how he got clipped. But here he's not wasting any time. He's going straight down to the canvas using his wrestling. And there's a lot at stake, Jimmie. His coaches seem just got married. That man should be on his honeymoon. He's here tonight. That's a lot of stuff for the Pace here tonight.
You know, it's tough being a professional, but this is what this game requires of you. Body lock to the takedown for Jimmie Pace Jr. Working the ground and pound. Here's the question. Jose Matuz in trouble early. How good is his composure? As Pace Jr. able to get around the guard, but back in half guard.
Maybe even get a submission. He says in his interview, he said, yeah, sure, submissions are cool, they're nice, but there's nothing like sweet as a knockout or TKO. That's what I aim for. But he's looking right now for some ground and pound action. Here's Jimmie.
Yeah, he didn't talk about doing it on the feet necessarily. He said, I'm going to take this guy down. I'm going to put him right through the canvas. Great short elbows.
He is punishing him right now, Jimmie.
Matuz in big trouble, curling up. Won't take a lot for the referee to stop this fight.
Man, those are some heavy shots.
Matuz trying to force his way back to his feet.
Like an anvil hitting your face. Not like if I hit by one, but I could imagine.
Matuz trying that wrestling stand-up, trying to wrist control and pop back to his feet.
Just a pure
and Pace Jr. taking him for a ride.
Wow, wow, it's that wrestling background he has. Athletic guy, used to play football.
And just no comparison when it comes to the strength of these two fighters. Jimmie Pace Jr. is so much stronger than Jose Matuz, who's trying to stay in this fight. 3 minutes left to go in round number 1. That's a long time with a guy around your guard.
Very long time. It's like 20 years. That's how it feels like to be on the bottom when Pace is on you.
Matuz back to half guard, but half guard's not going to easily relieve this pressure now. He's full guard, maybe threaten to get something done here.
Matuz searching for the arm, maybe for a triangle. He was searching for something desperately, but Pace now calling Matuz to get on his feet.
They've got to give him space, then the referee will stand him up. Until you do that, we're stuck here.
I don't, on his pro level, of course, Pace has not gone to the second round. It would be a different atmosphere for Pace if we get there.
Content right now to work in the butterfly guard of Jose Matuz in his last fight against Christopher Alvarez in June. That was a fight that they swapped a lot of different positions. It was wild, it was crazy, it was short. Ended up losing that one by rear naked choke. He's been a bit more composed in this fight, but he's been stuck working from the bottom throughout. Minute 45 left in round number 1.
And ironically, Pace trained with Alvarez, so he gave him a few pointers. And in fact, according to Pace, he said, hey, he gave me props for my strikes and my strength.
Walking up, thinking triangle, but nothing doing there. Good job from Jimmie Pace, bringing him back to his feet.
If you look at Pace's resume and his amateur levels, he's only gone to the second round, and we're talking about KOs and rear naked chokes.
Yeah, opportunistic submission.
Whoa!
Take you down, put you down, you'll make a mistake, and I'll capitalize. And right now, vicious ground and pound from Jimmie Pace Jr.
It's been Jimmie all day. And I'm looking at the dad right now. He's not playing coach. He's not silent, just focused on the fight.
Well, not a whole lot left to say when your son is manhandling the opposition. 50 seconds left to go in round number 1. He promised a first round TKO, but Matuz trying to hang on in arm triangle position and get around the guard. He can finish this.
He's trying to get the mount. Jimmie, here we go, right next to La Jaula.
Problem is he's got to put pressure on his right side, and that's exactly where the fence is.
Choke.
And trying to move onto his right side. Oh, got it!
Tap. There's a tap.
Got it. There is the submission win. Wow. He said submissions were pretty cool. He got one.
He said it was nice. And look, right to hug his father. He's not at the commentary desk. He's hugging his father.
Holding on to our headsets here. Beautiful arm triangle finish. Didn't have a lot of room to move with the fence being in the way. With his build and his strength, he was able to clamp down and get it anywhere.
That is awesome. What a proud dad that is to see his son get that victory inside La Jaula. Wow. There he is. The pride of Liberty City, Florida. Jimmie Pace Jr. Big Bucks.
Yeah, he promised a first round finish. That's exactly what he got. Takedown, ground and pound, arm triangle.
$1 million man loading, baby.
Calls himself the $1 million man. He cashed in the check tonight.
Después de
and there is a successful Jimmie Pace Jr. celebrating in La Jaula. He said first round finish, and that's exactly what he got. Call your shot and hit it. Omar Amador will make it official.
a 4 minutos 36 segundos del round número 1. In 4 minutes and 36 seconds of round number 1, this fight comes to an end. Esta pelea termina por un arm triangle choke, con un triángulo al brazo para el ganador por sumisión, for the winner by submission, the Liberty City, Florida, Jimmie Big Bucks Pace Jr.
He just pulled the Triple H.
spitting right up in, you love that reference, spitting right up in the air, letting everybody know that this is his house. Promised a first round finish and delivered. A little surprise by submission. Excellent ground and pound, great pressure, but opportunistic jiu-jitsu. What does that mean? Arm triangles, rear naked chokes, guillotine. Saw the opportunity. He took it, Rodolfo.
It goes to show you that he's more than just KOs and punches. He also has submissions in his arsenal, tapping out Matuz, making it look oh so easy. He exchanged maybe 1 or 2 shots, and then right after, ground. That was it for pace. That's all he needed to do. A very quick finish. We're getting different angles here from this position. No matter what way you look at it, pace just made it look pretty, Jimmie.
He is strong, he is physical, he's going to be a force in La Jaula at 170 pounds. Only his second pro fight, obviously his second pro victory, but he's accumulating minutes, he's accumulating experience, he's learning every time he's out there.
And that's the key. This is only his second fight. Yep. So as he climb higher, you know, more difficult opponents that are going to bring different things into the jaula. Are you up for it? Is he up for it? Is he working on those skills? It's only a matter of time till we see this young man evolve. And if he keeps evolving and if he keeps adding more of those offensive defenses that he needs to do, he could be a
This is a man who said he was great before he knew he was great. So sky's the limit for him, but there's more to come. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back at Combate. And welcome back to Combate Global inside the Univision Studios here in Miami. As you know, Jimmie Smith alongside mi hermano, Rodolfo Roman. Jimmie Pace Jr. called his shot. We saw the physicality, we saw the strength, we saw the things he needs to work on. He's going to move up, but for right now, 2-0, looking almost flawless.
He's looking sharp, and yes, he punted a KO, but he just got an arm triangle choke. Add that to my arsenal.
Here's the question. Could our next fight, Pablo Burgos versus Tena, could that be even better? Both these guys throw for the fences.
Both these guys are just strikers. They love to stand and bang. And Pablo Burgos at one time known as the Mexican. He's from Chile because he fights like one. And Tena, we saw that almost awesome fight last year. I'm excited to see this one. We've been talking about. This could be the fight of the night.
Now, Tena has very crisp strikes, right? Good hooks, good right hands, excellent combinations, good footwork. Burgos is known for that overhand right, loopy left, the power shots that separate you from your senses. You see right there, Pablo Burgos getting ready to make his walk into La Jaula, getting focused. He has the face of a warrior in 4-fight win streak. He has the confidence to carry him into this fight. We'll see him right after this. Welcome back to Combate Global in the Univision Studios here in beautiful Miami. Jimmie Smith alongside Rodolfo Roman. When you talk about heavy hitters, when you talk about technique, you talk about a stand-up war. That's what Combate Global is all about, and our feature fight of the night has that all over it.
All over, and again, Tena just coming off that Fight of the Year candidate last year in 2022 against Roberto Romero. Jimmie, very effective. He felt that he didn't lose that fight. He felt, I thought I did what I had to do to win. However, that's in the past. You have to put that aside. You're facing on a new opponent, and it's Pablo Burgos, a man who's hungry for a victory and is continuing that momentum, undefeated in his past 4 fights.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Pablo Burgos, a heavy hitter in his own right, he's coming into Jaula for the knockout and nothing else.
Cuando conocí el MMA, a los 18 años tomé la decisión de dedicarme al 100% y no voy a descansar hasta que logre algo importante de lo que me estoy dedicando y lo que quiero lograr. Mi nombre es Pablo Burgos, soy de Santiago de Chile.
You can never be a master at this game, you know, and I'm always just kind of pursuing this just because I always want to perfect my game. My name is Tena, I'm 23, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Peleo por mi mamá, tengo muchas cosas en mente, pero primero es mi familia.
It's hard to commit yourself to a job that maybe you don't like. This is something that I actually care for, and even my family, you know, we always get together and watch the fights. We love this sport.
Mi estilo de pelea voy a ir siempre al frente, estemos arriba, estemos abajo, voy a noquear, voy a finalizar, como sea.
I don't think he could outbox me, and if he does try to wrestle me, he's even more outclassed there, so I really think I'm going to be better than him everywhere.
siempre voy a buscar la victoria y para mí es lo que me da vida.
Pablo, let's go to war, man.
Te espero en la jaula para intercambiar golpes.
And when you look at both of these gentlemen, Ivan Tena, the one thing about him, last time out against Roberto Romero, he fought a Mexican-style fighter. Now, I know Burgos is from Santiago, Chile, because he fights in that Mexican style. Take 3 to give 1. The last time Ivan Tena took on that style, he had trouble with that physical pressure. You would see him land a punch and go, you're supposed to go down, and that didn't happen. Has he made the proper adjustments? Is that the biggest question?
That's the key, because that's what Burgos is going to do. He's powerful, heavy right-handed, and he's going to come right at you. He's not going to quit. He said he felt he won that fight, but that's not the case. Did you make adjustments? We're about to find out.
Welcome back, not just to Combate Global, but welcome back to our featured fight of the evening. It is the Titan versus the Predator in La Jaula. All right, there it is, Pablo Burgos versus Ivan Tena. Two guys who know how to strike, great combinations, great finishing power. That'll be on display from bell to bell.
Back and forth, toe-to-toe. These guys are not going to hold back. Let's introduce both these fighters.
Entrando a la jaula, Pablo Burgos.
You're seeing the young man from Santiago, Chile. He is on a 4-fight winning streak. Lost the first fight of his career. Hasn't looked back since, 4-0. And every fight, when you look at it, he's getting more and more confident in his ability to put fighters down.
Undefeated in his previous 4 fights. Took some time off. He had to take care of some of his personal stuff. And when you look and hear this man, he has a lot of emotion into this. He does this. When you hear about fighters, right, oh, I want to be the champ, I want to make money. No, I do this for my family. Every time he enters La Jaula, it's in memory of his grandparents, his mother, and that is all underlined. And when you put those things in there, Jimmie, it's a whole different type of fighter because there's more at stake. Tonight, we're going to see a different man inside La Jaula. Bienvenidos, Burgos.
And Omar, bring out his opponent. We're waiting.
Ahora su oponente, Iván Tena.
There is Ivan Tena, outstanding striker in his own right, clean, sharp technique. Trains the MMA lab, Vincent Henderson, Sean O'Malley. Maybe you heard of those guys, right? Coach John Crouch, great guy, incredible ability.
The list goes on, and when you train with those savages up there, it just makes you the type of fighter that you are. An ASU graduate coming inside La Jaula, had a phenomenal fight last year against Roberto Romero, Fight of the Year candidate. He's back at it again. He needs to put that in the mirror image. Forget about it. It's a brand new opponent. And learn from that. Even though he lost and he feels like he won, he has to learn from that. And I'm sure every fighter would tell you, oh, I'll leave it to my coach to see the footage. No, you got to look at that stuff, Jimmie.
We'll see if the numbers tell the tale. They are head-to-head. And it is a slight reach advantage, just 1 inch, but it's the height advantage of Ivan Tena that stands out to me. 5'6" for Pablo Burgos, 6 foot for Ivan Tena.
And he said at Tena, I've been training with people about the size of Burgos to help me out for this bout. He is ready to go. Now, for Omar for the introduction.
Ya está todo servido para este combate en el peso pluma, pautado a 3 asaltos de 5 minutos. Everything is set for this clash in the featherweight division. 3 rounds of beautiful 5 minutes. Los jueces son, judges are Vicente Rodríguez, Eliseo Rodríguez y James Lázaro. Damas y caballeros, todos están listos. Yo estoy listo para un combate global. Entrando en la esquina azul, introducing in the blue corner. Sube con récord de 4 victorias, 1 derrota. He steps in with a record of 4 victories, 1 defeat. Vistiendo azul, wearing blue. Registró un peso oficial de 146 libras. He registered an official weight of 146 pounds. Es de Santiago de Chile, Pablo, el depredador. Y ahora su oponente en la esquina roja. Now his opponent in the red corner. También entra a la jaula con récord de 4-1. Also steps into the cage with a record of 4 wins and 1 loss. Vistiendo rojo y blanco, wearing red and white. Registró un peso oficial de 145.8 libras. He stepped in, registering at 145.8 pounds. Es de Phoenix, Arizona. Iván, the Titan, Tena. El referee para este combate de Panamá, Marcos Pérez.
Fighter. Stop. Ok, so, ya saben la regla. Quiero una pelea limpia. Ok, siga mi comando en todo momento. Yo con los guantes. Sus esquinas.
We are ready to get it started in round number 1. Pablo, the Predator Burgos versus Ivan, the Titan Tena. You're looking at Tena right now. He's in the red and white shorts. His opponent, Pablo Burgos, right there in the blue and white from Chile.
Tena's
ready?
boxing.
Ready? Hey.
Matador and the Bull. Oh, there's the Bull charging early.
Whoa! Trying to go for the slam, but Tena has some crisp wrestling of himself. Great way of grabbing that left wrist to break up that wrist control.
Pablo Burgos putting the pressure on Tena. Already suplex right over the top.
Man.
Problem is, he's doing a lot of grappling. It takes a lot of energy.
A lot of energy right from the start.
Right now, Tena.
But that's how you stop a striker, Jimmie.
Yeah.
Right? You expect him. See, Tena probably expected him to exchange. But what did he do? He flipped the card and went straight down to take him down.
Right now, battling for the underhook. Here's where the height, the leg length of Tena becomes an issue. Great balance, able to circle off the fence. Going for a body lock of his own. Fighting for the trip position.
And although Burgos is the smaller or the shorter of the fighters, this guy's jacked.
Oh, dude, stocky.
He compares himself a little bit to Mike Tyson.
Wide as a church door. Takedown from Tena. Good job transitioning, one hook in.
And look, he finished
Great power by Burgos getting out of that position.
Back not long ago, he took a Timothy Kwamba, a very powerhouse as well here inside La Jaula, and he defeated him nicely. That right hand struck Burgos, Jimmie.
And Burgos going over the top with a shot of his own. Looks like Burgos is just striking to get into the clinch position. Thought we'd see a little bit more of a willingness on Burgos' part to exchange, but he wants to make this a grappling match.
Some vicious shots being traded in that clinch to the body.
Now Tena looking to unload in the center of La Jaula. Good uppercut.
Burgos just coming forward, calling Tena to the clinch. You can hear the coach from Burgos to keep your hands up, don't get wild.
I respect the speed of Ivan Tena. He has very good combinations, extremely sharp. Now the takedown. Burgos trying to power his way up from half guard. Good physical pressure from Tena, keeping him down.
Yeah, Tena has read the book here in Burgos. He knows where the flaws are, and it's the ground game. And there's perhaps, he almost nearly had
a little too aggressive. Now trying to transition to the armbar. They can triangle, but active guard from Tena.
Burgos training in Chile, the White Chief team, and in the Young Tigers Foundation here in Miami, Florida.
I think we're going to see what kind of gas tank these guys have. They're expending a ton of energy
Well, I can
round
tell you,
number 1.
I can tell you Tena has it. We saw it last time around when he took on Romero. But Burgos, does he have it? Oh, that's that right hand. But one thing about him though, Jimmie, when he throws those heavy hands, the hands come first, then the body follows, right? And that's not good.
Yeah, he doesn't take his body with him.
Right.
Doesn't keep his engine underneath him. Saying striking. Always want to take your legs with you. Tena right now staying very relaxed in the center of La Jaula.
That's where the power comes from. Oh,
Nice
well,
knee up the
Tena
center.
did say in the interview that he stopped this fight very early on with a knee or a punch to the face.
Inside trip, beautifully timed from Ivan Tena.
He almost made it happen.
One hook in, looking for the other one.
Like a half Nelson.
Yeah, this is where being 6 foot tall is so important. Powerful hips, now looking for the rear naked.
Can see from this angle there, but he may have something. No, the chin is turned down.
Oh, now it looks deep. That's it!
Wow!
Rear naked choke finish in round number 1 for Ivan Tena getting back on track. Woo!
Wow.
That is a young man with a lot of skill. He showed it. Sharp with the stand-up, overcoming the early aggression of Pablo Burgos. Turn it around and get a submission win. He says that last loss wasn't a loss. I went in there and I put on a great performance and I believe I won. He had a great performance tonight. This time he gets the official W.
That's confidence. Back in the win column for Tena. Burgos, little distraught there, but just beautifully executed.
Right there, those hips in. That's what makes it all work. It's not the hands, it's the hips. And
It's
Tena had
all
that
the
in
hips and
space.
pushing him up. Wow, just beautifully executed. Made it look so easy. Great stuff from Ivan Tena. Way to pick up that victory after that loss he had last year in that great fight.
Against a very game opponent in Pablo Burgos. No choice there but to tap.
Wow.
Aggressive, strong, but Tena's the one right now feeling it. Momentum back in his corner in La Jaula.
Great stuff from this young man.
Ivan Tena soaking it in. We will make it official. Saw it with our own eyes, but we will get the official decision, the official announcement from Omar Amador when we come back.
Después de 4 minutos y 14 segundos de mucha más acción en el primer asalto, after 4 minutes and 14 seconds of mucha más acción in the first round, we get a rear choke, a rear neck choke, un mataleón por sumisión. Gana Ivan the Titan Tena.
What do you want to see early on in someone's career as he moves to 5-1? You want to see aggression, you want to see technique, you want to see versatility, a guy that can win it in a lot of different ways. That's the guy we saw tonight.
And he showed it. Last time around, pure striking. Today, he knows he's really good on the ground, trust me. And he showed it here tonight against Burgos. Great action from this young man. If I was him, I want that rematch against Romero. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, there is more to come. Don't go anywhere as we look at a victorious Ivan Tena. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back in to the Univision Studios here in Miami. You see the Jaula, which was the scene for so much action tonight. Ivan Tena, Pablo Burgos, couple of surprises. We thought we'd see just a stand-up battle between those guys. Maybe a little grappling thrown in there, but we thought Burgos much more comfortable throwing power punches. He wanted a wrestling match, which Tena was ready for.
Tena is an all-around fighter, and that's what he showed here tonight. Yes, he can strike, but he has great ground game, great jiu-jitsu. We saw it here tonight. In fact, he was a state champ as a wrestler, Jimmie. Why not use it? And he showed it here tonight, how versatile he is as a fighter. I was thrown off when Burgos went for the takedown. Beautiful flex by him, or attempt to it. I was really surprised. I thought he was just gonna go stand and bang right from the get-go, but he flipped the script, and he threw Tena off, and he had to flip it as well later on himself.
But also, all the things Burgos did cost a lot of gas early in fights. And a fighter like Tena, he knows that. He's well coached. You know, obviously he fights at the MMA lab. He knows how much energy it takes to fight like that. So his coaches kept saying, he'll run out of gas. Just don't panic, keep the pressure on, and you'll get the win. That's exactly what he did. Listened very well to his coaches to get that rear naked.
That's what you get when you train with people at the MMA lab. Experienced fighters, experienced trainers. Don't relax, stay composed, know what you're good at, and use it. And that's exactly what it did here tonight against Burgos. Made it look oh so easy inside La Jaula, Jimmie. Beautifully executed rear naked choke. They're very tight.
Well, we say you're 6 foot. Use those hips. Use those legs. I get jealous, right? I'm not gonna say I'm 5'10". I don't quite have the legs, but when you have the hips in, that's when we saw the tap.
Yeah, and wrapping those legs around, positioning the hips up, that just does it for you right there. Congratulations to this young man, Ivan Titan Tena. Another victory for him inside La Jaula.
What do you think this means for him moving forward at 145 pounds? A stacked division throughout MMA. Also here in La Jaula, here at Combate Global. Where do you think he goes from here?
You have some studs in this ranking, in the 145s. But one man, and again, I'm sure he wants competition, but he looked at that tape. He said that he won that fight. Why not get that rematch against Roberto Romero?
It was a killer last time against Roberto Romero. We would love to see it. There is more action to come and talk about. Stay with us. Welcome back to Combate Global here at Univision Studios in Miami. Jimmie Smith alongside Rodolfo Roman. I'm going to put you on the spot because I've known you a long time. I feel like I can do it. I feel like I can. Jimmie, Jimbo Slice Pace Jr. had his family in attendance, his dad, who is a martial artist, and, of course, Tena. Of course, we just saw Ivan Tena, who had performance of the night. No pressure because he's going to be interviewed right now.
That's a good point. Let's go ahead and listen to Max Gonzalez, who had a victory there today. He came up very hard, very fast, but he got tired. I keep hitting him hard. Sorry, that was Ivan Tena. I mentioned Gonzalez there. Got him mixed up there. Did you think that the fight would work out this way? Did you think that he would do the striking because you are a wrestler? Yeah, he knew that he wanted to wrestle, but I knew he was strong. But he never hurt me. I was good. Did you think you were going to resolve real fast? Because at one time, I thought that you had the entire route. After the first few rounds, after the first few minutes, he got tired. I knew I could knock him out or submit him, and that's what happened. Let's see if you could look at the replay. How did you get to this point? Well, I knew he was tired. I left my head and I told myself, I need to finish this. I grabbed the choke. And that's it. That's all I could say. I could say anything else. Thanks so much, Titan Tena, for winning this fight. Great technique and advancing and winning to get this rear naked choke. Good luck. We'll see you soon, and thanks for competing here in Combate Global.
So I'm gonna hold you to that. Yeah. Jimmie Pace Jr. tonight, first round finish, arm triangle, not quite as clean, not quite as technical. Or you have Tena. Who's your performance of the night?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I only asked
I'm going to have to go with Jimmie because he has a lot of hype.
You just like the flash.
Listen, yeah.
Of G-Pace Jr. You just like the way
the money, the big
money,
bucks,
the
hype,
hype,
the entertainment, the promos.
And you're a Triple H fan.
Yes.
And he blows the water just like that's why. It has nothing to do with technique, right? So sell me, right? Remember, this is only my second show in Combate Global. La Loba making her return to La Jaula for Combate Global. Sell me. Why should I watch? Why should I care? Why should I be interested? Not just the house, not just the attitude, her performances. Tell me.
You know that she's a beautiful woman, but she can come inside La Jaula and duke it out with anyone. And she showed it last time around when she was inside when she took on Mariel Seliman. When you look at her, you think, oh, what is this girl going to do? Man, her boxing was on point. Very crisp, very fast, has gas. So, what you're seeing there is a beautiful savage inside La Jaula, and that is why you should tune in April 1st to see La Loba, who'll have you howling in your house. I'm telling you right now, Jimmie, you're gonna feel it, man. She brings the entertainment, she brings the energy inside La Jaula. If I don't see you jumping and on your feet, something is wrong with you, dude.
Why not gonna make it all about me and my energy? Don't I bring the energy every time we work together? I am looking forward to it myself. Gotta check her out to believe it.
By the way, she has a good right hand. She was at the Marnus Park, threw a good pitch. Better than Connor.
Juanita versus Acosta La Loba making her return to Combate Global. How hyped are you about it?
I'm very hyped. I'm telling you, in that past fight that she had with one of the most watched fights in Combate Global history, and she returns, she brings all about that. I'm really curious to see what she's been working on, because every time that she steps inside La Jaula, there's something new that she's worked on and she's involved. And we've seen it here time and time again. She's just not a pretty girl that decided to fight. No, she's about the hype. She brings it all the time. She puts in the work in the gym, and it's all set in stone when you see her inside competing.
The step up we've seen, all right? Week number one, show number one, which of course last week, to show number two. The fighters are coming in to bring it. It's almost like the energy of show number one. They want to see if they can match that. They want to see if they can beat. We saw two outstanding finishes of our three featured fight. The ladies brought it just like the ladies did last week. Does that hype feed on itself here?
Absolutely. If one fight sets the tone, right? That opening fight sets the tone. Especially right now, today we had 3 fighters from Chile. All right? You can't be the lone person from your country to lose. You got to keep that momentum. Right now, Burgos right now, he had the crowd there from Chile. I'm sure he's not a happy camper. You got Valentina that won, then earlier on, we had another Chilean who took on that victory. And that's just to carry momentum. That's just your country. But how about your team? If I'm with the Go Chet Academy, I don't want to, if I have 3 competitors in my team and I lose, that's not a good thing. You want to carry on the momentum. I know that MMA is considered an individual sport, but Jimmie, when you're part of a gym, you want to continue that momentum and that winning streak for your camp.
I'm the kind of guy, if you get on the mat, if you're a teammate of mine and you win in a minute, I want that submission in 45 seconds.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter. I want to outdo everybody there. And that momentum right now, carrying everybody in Combate Global. Also, it's a matter of, right now, national pride. The U.S. right now, 2-0 on Mexico. You know the Mexican pride with the fighters in Combate Global. They want it back starting in 2 weeks.
How sweet it is, and we're going to see it right here. It's going to be throughout the season in 2023. Mexico versus USA. Listen, you talk about the Lakers and Celtics, right? You're talking about so many rivalries.
Lakers. LA, Southern California native here. You talk about Lakers, Celtics, you better be on the side of the Lakers. Yeah, but similar thing, national pride on the iron.
That's all it is, man, Jimmie. Great stuff, Jimmie.
Well, we appreciate all the fighters who put it on the line in La Jaula tonight. On behalf of myself, Jimmie Smith, my broadcast partner, Rodolfo Roman, El Jefe, Campbell McLaren, and everybody behind the scenes, we appreciate you. We will see you in 2 weeks.